Hey everyone, Matron here, bringing you another Starcraft 2 commentary, this time a special game between teammates Liquid Ret, spawning as the Blue Zerg, and Liquid HuK, spawning as the Red Protoss. This game taking place just prior to the name change, so we do not have Liquid Ret tagged on the North American server yet, but I imagine this is a practice game between the two players, perhaps even a ladder game. I did get this from a Team Liquid replay pack, where they're kind of pimping their Zerg players, and anytime you listen to interviews with Team Liquid players prior to MLG Dallas, they talked about Liquid Ret and how solid of a player he is, often going a little bit overboard in complimenting him, saying that they definitely expected him to do well in that tournament. And we do see he did qualify for GSL Season 3, in fact just beat his round of 64 opponent to move on to the round of 32. So we have not seen much from Ret. He did not play in any of the MLGs prior to Dallas, and I have not cast any of his games, I believe, so I wanted to get an idea of what his playstyle was like, and HuK, always a popular figure, and a definite test as a Protoss player in this TVP matchup. So we see HuK going for more of an economical build. Right now, might be a 14 gate finally coming out here, so very late. He did have that scout over in the base of Ret, and he's going to know that there is no fast hatch for Ret quite yet. Looks like Ret going pool first. HuK going to take 5 minerals from that natural, every little bit counts, and then go up into the main of Ret. Perhaps going to follow this drone, prevent the fast expand from going down. Ret sending this drone over a little bit early, perhaps to take on this probe and try to whittle down the shields a little bit. Looks like HuK is not going to take any chances, throwing down a pylon and then making his way up into the base of Liquid Ret. Ret is on one extractor, about halfway done here, and the spawning pool is about to come up as well. We see HuK getting a second pylon and gateway about to come up as well. So both players opening with their initial buildings and an extractor there. We do see, it looks like that pylon was cancelled by HuK, so not necessarily agreeing with that, as it's going to allow the Zerg to get up this expansion. He didn't delay it for too long there. Cybernetics core going up for HuK about halfway complete, and we do see the first Zealot coming out. So again, a lot of people just foregoing that Zealot and getting a fast Stalker out as soon as possible. This wide ramp on Scrap Station going to make it very difficult to wall off for Protoss, so any sort of Zergling run by pressure early on can be quite painful. We do see the probe coming back with the 5 minerals from Ret's natural. Actually, he's doubling back now, perhaps taking that pylon, or the watchtower in the center of the map. Scrap Station, very long rush distance in the early game, but once these middle rocks do go down, it tends to open up multiple attack paths, which the Zerg really love. So we'll see which player is going to break through those rocks first, or perhaps this game will end a little bit earlier with just HuK pushing out with a Stalker and a Zealot. We do see a few Zerglings coming out for Ret at this point. He has actually pulled all of his drones off of gas, so he did get enough gas for that speed upgrade, checking the outside of his base for any sort of pylon or proxy buildings. You see the warp gate tech about 2/3 of the way complete, and a forge almost complete for HuK, so perhaps going to do some sort of cannoning. Looks like he has found an Overlord here, so that is going to sidecap Ret if he's not able to retreat to the high ground. The Stalker might lose sight of this Overlord, and it looks like yes, he will. If there was the Zealot at the watchtower, the Stalker could keep shooting. And now we see a lot of Zerglings moving out for Ret. He's got about double the army right now, and he's going to be pushing and looking to get up into HuK's main. HuK throwing down gateways, 2 gateways here, as well as a cannon, trying to wall off. And he's going to have a few sentries, so we'll see whether he's able to force field off these Zerglings. Zerglings coming in, trying to take down these units, and we have a few force fields go down there. Very good. It's going to give time for this cannon to finish, and Ret's not going to be able to pierce through this. There's another sentry, I believe, warped in right here, so he can get another force field if he chooses. And HuK's going to be good with this cannon right now, throwing up a Nexus as well, and maybe throwing up a pylon up here. So Ret does have Zerglings outside the base of Liquid HuK, so he does have map control at this point. He's going to keep HuK inside of his base, So he is going to be able to drone up. We in fact see that he is about to complete his lair tech, getting up an evolution chamber as well. So at this point, just choosing to drone, using these Zerglings to sort of put a cap on HuK and keep him inside the base. And HuK is going to want to push out and break out of this as soon as possible. You do not want to give the Zerg player map control and the freedom to expand willy-nilly all over the map or drone up. Looks like these sentries and the zealots pushing out, and Rhett going to cut his losses there and just pull back. He does have the speedlings. So now HuK going to be pressing against these rocks, and it's going to take a little while to break through these. He does not have a lot of units besides these sentries. The sentries all able to do a force field at this point, some of them able to actually do 2. So if HuK is able to use these sentries effectively, he could push through these rocks here and do a lot of damage to Rhett. Rhett getting up 3 spine crawlers and a 4th as well, and looks like he's about halfway done a spire. If we check out the army tab, it's 875 to 325. So Rhett hoping that these spine crawlers are enough to convince the Protoss player to turn around. HuK making it through the first set of rocks there. And looks like he will pull back. Checking out the production structures of HuK, he does have 1 robotics facility as well as 3 gates at this point. He is getting a saturation on his second base and also getting a few photon cannons at this choke. Pushing out towards the south, perhaps to take back this tower. Rhett making a lot of lings in anticipation for this attack. Also drones as well. So not really sure whether he's anticipating this attack. It looks like just pure drones coming out at this point. So does not believe that the attack is coming, or thinks that these spine crawlers as well as the Zerglings he already has, as he does have 37 Zerglings, will be enough to fend off HuK. HuK does not have much army. He is being aggressive with these small units here. Just 1450 army. And the Zerg player should be able to create enough army to defend against that with these spine crawlers. So HuK doing a smart thing, pulling back. And we see the Mutalisks on the way for Rhett. So with those Mutalisks, he is going to have map control once again, and he's going to force HuK to stay at home and guard against the air harass. HuK, for his part, does not have many stalkers at this point, so mostly sentries. They do not move too quickly, and they will not be able to react to the Mutalisk harass if Rhett does go into the main of HuK. We do see a cannon coming down, so HuK has an observer in the middle of the field. I'm not sure he's seen the Mutalisks yet, but he is going to anticipate at this point in the game, about 7-8 minutes in, that's about the time that your opponent will have Mutalisks if he is on 2 bases. HuK with a second observer right over top of these destructible rocks, and he's actually going to be able to take down the creep tumors. So shooting through these rocks with the sentries, taking down those creep tumors, going to limit sight. Now we see the Mutalisk coming over. He does have 11 Mutalisks, so a large mutaball, and the Stalkers are in good position to defend against that, going to soften up 1 muta, and Rhett going to have to pull back. Again, the observer seeing everything in the middle of the field. So both players trading kind of map control and view here. Rhett pushing in, seeing those photon cannons, perhaps a little bit of a premature Guardian Shield there for HuK. Rhett just exploring the map. He wants to make sure HuK is not on 3 bases at this point. Does have Zerglings positioned as well in the third of HuK, and looks like he may be coming around the back of the natural, but HuK with that gamer sense moving the Stalkers down here. So he will be in great position to fend off these Mutalisks, pushing up here, and he does have Blink complete as well, so Blink very effective against Mutalisks. We do see that Rhett has actually gotten up this gold expansion as well. If we check the income tab of both players, 56 Harvesters to 52, now 58 for Rhett, so should be shooting up with an advantage off of 3 bases shortly. And Rhett just going around and around with these Mutalisks, trying to find a hole in the defenses of HuK. HuK again seeing everything on the map with those observers, and finally going to take on these Mutalisks. Mutalisks all going down, just a few Stalkers, and blinking up to the edge there. Wishes he could blink over here and take down the Mutalisks. So muta numbers pretty low now, 9 mutas, and Rhett has not created any more, just using this opportunity to start a hive and just drone up. He's now at 68 drones on these 3 bases with the gold. He's up and running off of 6 gas, I believe. So spewing creep at this island, and he does have a Zergling down here, so he knows HuK is just on the 2 bases. HuK actually getting up a number of photon cannons, so perhaps reacting a little bit over the top with the photon cannons, trying to defend against the mutas. Rhett coming in with more and more mutas. He is up to 14 at this point. Does have the Zerglings in position, could take a fourth right here. And if we check out HuK, his vision, he just sees his base, and he's got these two observers in the middle of the field, so he can see there, and he's going to be able to react to any muta harass, but he cannot see the rest of the map. He does not know his opponent has that gold, and is in good position to take a fourth even. If we look at the army tab for both players, pretty even here, 3,400 to 3,400. HuK does have those Blink Stalkers, does not yet have charge on the Zealots, and has plenty of energy on these sentries, most of them with 200 energy. So you're going to be about 20 shields possible for HuK with these sentries. We do see the mutas moving in here. They saw the units of HuK pushing out, so we may get a bit of a split attack. Now a High Templar coming in, doing a great storm. Those mutas catching a few of them, about half life. And Storm's going to be a good reaction to those mutas as well with the Blink Stalkers. If you can catch the ball of mutas with the Storm, they do not have a lot of health, only 120. So we do see that Templar Archives now working, about halfway done the amulet research. Do see Adrenal Glands for the Zerg player. Rhett pushing in, trying to take down these cannons. Not really sure about focusing them down. He's taking a lot of damage with these Mutalisks, and the Stalkers coming in here as well. He's going to clean up those cannons, so that is going to open up the main of HuK to this this Mutalisk attack anytime, but HuK is just going to throw down more cannons. So Rhett losing probably 5 or 6 Mutalisks there, maybe a few more. HuK reacting well again with the Stalkers in good position, and those cannons really give HuK enough time to get into position with those Stalkers. The Mutalisks cannot start in on the probes with those cannons firing at them. And then the Stalkers with Blink able to close that distance quickly and reinforce and shoo away the Mutalisks. We see another Storm go down, not much damage.